Hello, BookTube. This is Alan. I thought I'd come to you today and give you a quick update of what I'm reading, what I've finished, and yeah, other things. It's been a slow month this month in my reading because I really haven't. Well, I don't know what it is. Laziness, procrastination, spending too much time on social media sites. Well, anyway, I finished The Game by Ken Dryden. This is an excellent sports autobiography. He touches on a lot of things that was going on during his time and things that are going on now, and also how an athlete deals with problems like married life and day-to-day living because he is structured so much to a schedule that he didn't wear a watch. And it's an excellent sports autobiography, and it's one of the best ones I've ever read. I'm also almost through, and this is taking a while, the Epistle to the Hebrews, the New International Commentary on the New Testament, and this one's by F.F. Bruce. This originally came out in 1990 by Erdman's Publishing Company, and you can tell I've used a lot of notes in here, taken a lot of notes. It's very well, a lot of information on the book of Hebrews, and it's like 13 chapters in the book of Hebrews. So, and that's, so I'm almost through with this. But it's taken me a while because I don't know. Laziness is probably the part, and got involved in too many other things to be disciplined in doing a serious Bible reading each morning. Along with the Epistle to the Hebrews by F.F. Bruce, there's also this one, the Jewish New Testament Commentary. This is by David Stern. This came out by the Jewish New Testament Publications, Clarksville, Maryland, and it was published in copyrighted in 1989. And there's another copyright up here in 1992. David Stern was a Messianic Jew, so he's writing from that perspective of a Jew who has accepted Jesus Christ as the Messiah, and it's very good to learn a perspective from a Jewish perspective on the New Testament rather than commentary from a Western point of view. So this is very good, and and it gives very good insights. And one of the reasons is because Jesus was Jewish and his disciples were Jewish, and a lot of his followers of Jesus was Jewish, and they're speaking to, and Paul's letters were speaking to those who used to be Jewish and also Gentile who accepted Jesus Christ as the Messiah. The next one is this one is called Types in Hebrews by Sir Robert Anderson. This is a reprint by Kriegel Classics, and it came out in 1978. Sir Robert Anderson. This deals with the different types of priesthood, and how Jesus Christ is from the lineage of Melchizedek, which is in the book of Genesis. And it also talks about the temple, triumphs of faith, Christ's deity enforced, doctrine of the blood. Sir Robert Anderson wrote about 17 books. And let me give you a little biography of Sir Robert Anderson. He described himself as a Anglicanized Irishman of Scottish extraction. He is widely recognized as a popular lay preacher, author of best-selling books on biblical subjects. He was born in 1841 in Dublin, and his father was the Crown Solicitor for the city. His father is also a distinguished elder in the Irish Presbyterian Church. Robert Anderson was educated in Dublin, Paris, and Bologna. In 1859, he entered Trinity College, Dublin, graduating in 1862. Excuse me, let me go back. He was married in 1873 and 4 years later moved to London as a member of the Home Office staff in Scotland Yard as an assistant commissioner of the Metropolitan Police and chief of the Criminal Investigative Department. He served his country well until his retirement in 1901. During this time, when he was serving as the Assistant Commissioner of Metropolitan Police and Chief of the Criminal Investigative Department, there was a series of crimes that took place in London, and we know it today as Jack the Ripper. So he was investigating those crimes of Jack the Ripper and other crimes that took place. He had a large circle of friends, and one of which includes C.I. Scofield. C.I. Scofield was very influential. He was dispensationalist. He was influential with Louis Ferris Schaeffer, who founded Dallas Theological Seminary. He came out with the Scofield Reference Bible, which is a dispensationalist Bible with all the little footnotes. His church was in Dallas, where I live, and it was burned down. They built another church they called it the Scofield Memorial Chapel, and everybody that attends there carries his Scofield Reference Bible all the time. He also founded Central American Missions, which is a mission organization that goes to, of course, Central America and also down into South America. I think they changed the name. I'm not sure. It's Sir Robert Anderson. And this one is called The Coming Prince. Excuse me, that was types in Hebrews. And this one is called The Coming Prince. The Coming Prince deals with the book of Daniel, including the 9th chapter in particular. Let me, just a moment. The 9th chapter of Daniel has gotten a lot of ink, has been spilled over that particular chapter, because it deals with the 70 weeks of Daniel. A lot of dispensationalists will put the 70 weeks into the book of Revelation. And here it is on 9 verse 24. 70 weeks are determined for your people in your holy city to finish transgression, to make the end of man of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, so that's where this title comes from, the coming Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in the troublous times. And after 62 weeks, Messiah shall be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. The end of it shall be with a flood. Until the end of the war, desolation are determined. Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week, but in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abominations shall be one who makes desolate, even until the consummation which is determined is, is poured out on the desolate. So you have a lot of commentaries commentating on that verse, just those 3 verses in Daniel chapter 9. A lot of them equate it with the end times. A lot of them equate it with, no, it's not the end times. It's already happened. And it's causing a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding. So that's why you have to read several commentaries, like this one, Jewish New Testament commentary, the Epistle to the Hebrews, to understand what it is saying. And that's why you can't just read the Bible, because you can read the Bible. It's important to read a Bible, but passages like that I just read in Daniel, it's kind of obscure and hard to understand. So you need someone to help you. Just like the last time I made a video and talked to you about tithing and what the word tithing meant in Scripture. People that understood the description of tithing, what it meant in the Old Testament, they would go up to someone like T.D. Jakes and ask him for money, and he'll say to you, well, I see you haven't been tithing, so I won't give you any money. And then you just say to him, well, is this the 3rd week? And of course, they have a chronological table here from the servitude of Babylon to the dedication of the Second Temple. And this just shows you his perspective of the 70 weeks that was there. And you'll have this chronological parallelism with Adam's creation. It tells you how many years. Noah to the flood, Abraham to the covenant, Moses the law, Christ the crucifixion. And it tells you how many years it is. So they come up with all these years and all these dates and everything else. Changing on a different level. This is one of the books that I got last year from New York Review of Books that I intended to read, and I started reading this. This is called Memoirs from Beyond the Grave, 1768 to 1800, by Francois René de Chateaubriand. This is an introduction by Annika Moldstein, and Alex Andreses is the writer and translator. He lives in the Netherlands. This has, let me see, 12 books in it, and they're very short books. In fact, book 1 only goes 53 pages. And he was born, Francois René de Chateaubriand was born in Saint Malo, which is in Brittany, off the coast of France. And he talks in first, he starts talking about his ancestors, started talking about his family history, and that kind of gets boring a little bit. And he said twice the Chateaubriands have mingled their blood with the blood of English sovereigns. Geoffrey IV de Chateaubriand took as his wife Agnes de Laval, the granddaughter of Comte de Jules, and Matilda, the daughter of Henry I. Marguerite de Lisson, the widow of the King of England and the granddaughter of Louis de La Rose, was married to Geoffrey V, the 12th Baron de Chateaubriand. So he was actually had royal blood in him. And it talks about the sons, his brothers. He was actually born in the same year that Napoleon Bonaparte was born. And there's one thing here that in this book is something all that I'm going to point out. It's very, the city was very well known. The founder of Canada was from Saint Malo. Oh, here it is, right here. And it became a fortified city after the English kept attacking it all the time. And here it is right here. Saint Malo had much to suffer in the wars waged between the French and English kings. The Earl of Richmond, later Henry VII of England, with whom the tangles between the White Rose and the Red Rose came to an end, was imprisoned in Saint Malo. The Duke of Brittany delivered him to Richard III's ambassadors, who were to take him to London to be killed, but he escaped those guards and took a refuge in the cathedral. This right to asylum dates back to the age of Druids, the first priests of Erin's Tale. The Bishop of St. Malo is one of the favorites, who portrayed the ill-fated Gilles de Bourgogne, whose story may be read in the Histories La Fomenant de Gilles Seigneur de Chateaubriand and de Cantoche, Prince du Sang de France and de Bourgogne, entré in prison par les ministries du Ferrer. So you have, and he actually had a lot of quotes in here in the first book. You have to kind of look back in the back of the different notes. And he has, let me see. He quotes Horace. Has a quote from Virgil. Has a quote from Dante's Paradiso. There's a quote from Virgil's Aeneid. There's a quote from St. Augustine. Pliny. The commentaries on the Gallic War. There's a lot of histories here. There was one. I'll read you here the quote he gave, which I enjoyed reading. So find it here. But you can see how he starts out the book with being of royal blood and where he lived in the city and how the attack was interesting. That during the World War II, the British and the Americans almost destroyed the entire city. There's oh, here it is, right here. Yeah. C'est-vous mon esprit à que je vous parler, vous avez des défenses que je ne peux push seller. And that says, I would like to speak with you in my mind. You have some thoughts I cannot hide. So it's very good so far. It's like I said, it's very short books and almost. So I've been reading these pretty shortly. I'm also looking at the ones I showed you on past videos about reading a book from a decade starting in 1900 that are still in the public domain, and I have actually picked Up From Slavery by Booker T. Washington. So I'm listening to that one on YouTube. So thank you very much, and until next time, bye.